Joining us now is the 57th governor of New York, Kathy Hochul. Governor, thank you very much for joining us at the end of what I know has been an exhausting day and a surprising day. This wasn't on your schedule today, having to react to the Supreme Court overruling a law that's over 100 years old in New York City.
Teddy Roosevelt was president when we had this law in place. That's how long it goes. So when they talk about we have to look at historical tradition, I think that's long enough. We've had this on the books. We've been able to protect New Yorkers all this time under this law. So to have them set us back to a time where I have to consider what it was like when our founding fathers were writing the laws, I mean, that's absurd. And it's reprehensible. It's hurtful to all of us who are on the front lines of trying to have sensible gun safety legislation. And you look at what's happening in Congress. For the first time in 30 years, we're going to have at least a breakthrough, a bipartisan approach to do something, because even they can hear the voices of people crying for help. And across the street, the Republicans on the Supreme Court are just oblivious to it. They're intentionally ignoring the rights of governors to protect our citizens. That's what we're facing right now.
Yeah, it's such a strange day in Washington because it begins with this ruling by the Supreme Court, which is just stunning, a 6-3 ruling. And then your senior senator, Chuck Schumer, the majority leader, gets the gun safety legislation through tonight within the last hour with 65 votes, 15 Republican votes joining that. And of course, that bill is minimal, absolutely minimal, and it has no effect on what we're talking about here tonight. This Supreme Court, it seems like, as with everything they took up, it seems like they're eager to go beyond whatever they've just said. I mean, doesn't it leave you fearing what's their next gun ruling?
This is appalling. We have to be able to have the right to make a determination based on what our citizens want. I'm not governing Texas. That's fine. They can do what they want there. But I should have the right to be the voice of the people of this state who want sensible gun safety legislation. And my God, the graves in Buffalo, where I'm from, my hometown, where I once worked with Tim Russert, are still fresh. And they had the audacity to do this. This is spiteful. This is trying to set us back. And I'll tell you right now, they're trying to take away the rights of governors to do this, to protect our citizens. And yet they're going to be telling governors, probably in a matter of days, with respect to this abortion case, Roe v. Wade, that you can even be more restrictive, allow them to take away women's rights as well. So we are so frustrated by this, but we're ready. This is New York. We knew this was coming. We've been consulting with the smartest people in the country, our legal scholars, people that have been on the front lines, every town, for example. We have a strategy. I'm going to convene the legislature. They don't usually come back till January. I said, this is urgent. This is a matter of public safety. And I have to make sure that we can get the law changed in place in a couple of days to be able to have restrictions and to talk about sensitive places. We will have the right to stop concealed carries from individuals from carrying a gun into a sensitive place. I'm going to define those sensitive places. I assure you, we are not going to allow this to happen on our subways. We just had a shooting a few weeks ago. I'm not going to allow it in your schools or churches or all kinds of places. So we're going to be crafting that language right now, because I'm not ceding my right and my responsibility as the governor of this state that wants protections. I'm not giving that up.
So the breaking news of the night in terms of New York's reaction is you are calling back the legislature.
Yes, we are.
And you are saying we need to write a new law with an eye on what the Supreme Court said today to try to find a way to thread these legal needles to create enough protection for New Yorkers against, it's basically protection against the Supreme Court.
Yes. Yes, I will. I'll go right up to the line. I'll make sure that it's legally sustainable. I'll have constitutional scholars advising us. We'll get it right. But I'm not prepared to surrender. And surrendering means more loss of life in a very populated urban area like our cities. Today, I had a convening of Mayor Adams and the 5 upstate mayors from Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, and Yonkers. I brought them all together. And I said, this is going to be a problem for your law enforcement. Think about this. When our police are out in the streets trying to protect people, how are they supposed to know when they see some evidence that someone's carrying a gun? Is that a lawful concealed carry, or is that someone prepared to do harm to another individual and maybe go into a grocery store like in Buffalo and shoot everybody up. That's what we're facing here. This is going to be a real challenge for law enforcement and thwarting our efforts to just keep people alive. We have the nation-leading laws in place. I signed them over 2 weeks ago. We're proud of that. This is a response of what happened in Buffalo and Uvalde. And we have to stop letting this happen. And what the Republicans are doing, the Supreme Court, is appalling, appalling. And I think, Lawrence, one more thing. This is clear evidence that elections have severe consequences, not just your coverage of the insurrection, which has been powerful and chilling what has been revealed, but also Merrick Garland should be on that Supreme Court if they hadn't stopped Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton, if there had not gone the election the way we wanted it to, she would have had 2 more appointees. We would have a completely different future for our country. And the madness, the gun culture that has enveloped so many people, that is not what New Yorkers want. Again, that's another state. It's apparently the Supreme Court, but that's not what the people in my state want, and I'm here to represent them.
What do you say to young people who've been working, especially with David Hogg, who was surviving of the Parkland shooting and has dedicated himself to this? He finally helped get this bill through the Senate, and now a setback like this today.
It's painful for them. Literally today, when I was about to sign legislation named after Alyssa. Who's Alyssa? A 14-year-old killed at Parkland. Her grandparents were in the room today down the road. We are going to sign a law that requires asks schools to have some sort of alarm system in the classrooms or an app on a cell phone so you can immediately get to the police when there is an incident occurring, so we don't have to get caught up in dispatch problems or anything else. When this came down, literally as I was walking the room to do this press conference, Alyssa's grandparents wept in my arms. They said, don't let this happen. Don't let this happen. We're fighting so hard. So people like David and Linda Schulman, Beagle Schulman, her son Scott was a teacher at Parkland, killed. They live in New York State. I refuse to be set back. I want people like David to know there are still leaders out there who are going to continue carrying the torch for this fight. This is a matter of life and death. I have 10 fewer neighbors in Buffalo, 10 minutes from my house that shooting occurred, or the children slaughtered in Uvalde. This is the cause of our time, and I'm counting on David and the members of his generation not to give up on us. The march toward justice is sometimes long and it's tumultuous, but we're not giving up.